Hello and welcome to a new episode of our program Inside Egypt, during which we're going to bring you the latest political, economic and also social events that are taking place in Egypt. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and visiting French Prime Minister Manuel Valls attended the signing ceremony of a defense cooperation agreement and a contract to purchase 2 Mistral warships. The deal was the second major military contract this year between France and Egypt, which the French President François Hollande said he increasingly views as a strategic partner. More details in the following report by Nile TV's Hala Al-Hamalawi.
Signed a deal with France on Saturday to buy 2 Mistral warships originally ordered by Russia as French Prime Minister Manuel Valls began an Arab tour. Valls arrived in Cairo at the start of visits to 3 Arab nations aimed at boosting economic ties and holding talks on regional conflicts. On September the 23rd, French President François Hollande announced that he had agreed the sale of the warships with his Egyptian counterpart Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. After Valls and al-Sisi met in Cairo on Saturday, a member of the French Premier's delegation said that the deal had now been signed. France originally built the Mistrals for Russia before scrapping their sale over the Ukraine crisis. The vessels, which can carry 16 helicopters, 4 landing craft and 13 tanks, were ordered by Russia in 2011 in a €1.2 billion deal. Defense Ministry in Paris said that the Mistrals will be delivered in early March, and the contract provides for 4 months training in France for some 400 Egyptian sailors. Hollande has invoked what he called Cairo's essential role in the fight against extremism in the Middle East, particularly against the terrorist elements who staged many deadly attacks in Egypt since 2013. Apart from arms deals, Egypt has also expressed interest in extending the Cairo metro, which was largely built by French companies, and in satellite communications deals.
Welcome back. A Ministerial Economic Committee has been formed to develop the framework for economic and monetary policy. The committee includes CBE governor and will deal with negotiations with finance and investment institutions. More details in the following report by Nile TV's Hala Al-Hamalawi.
The Ministerial Economic Committee has been formed that will draw out the general framework for economic and monetary policies as well as the promotion of investment. Prime Minister Sharif Ismail issued a decision on Thursday to restructure the Economic Ministerial Committee under his chairmanship, according to a statement released by the cabinet. Members of the committee include the Governor of the Central Bank of Egypt, CBE, and the Ministers of Planning and Logistics, Finance, Investment, Tourism, International Cooperation, Petroleum, and Foreign Trade and Industry. The decision specified the committee's responsibilities, which include setting the general framework for the economic and monetary policies and the state's trends in different fields, as well as research and study of all economic and financial issues referred to it, to provide an opinion and the necessary recommendations for them and the relevant legislation. According to the cabinet spokesperson Hussam Al-Qawish, the decision enables the committee to take the necessary decisions to determine priority structural reform actions and propose necessary policies to meet the challenges facing the economy. The committee will coordinate with other ministerial committees to ensure the consistency of the economic, social, and sectoral policies and their orientations. The committee will further communicate with various political, economic, and social circles tasked to clarify the economic vision and the direction of the economic policy, as well as to communicate with the international community. The decision gives the committee the powers to negotiate at the policy level with international and regional financial institutions and to promote the Egyptian economy in various local and international forums.
Well, Egyptians are scheduled to go to polling stations on October the 17th to cast their ballots in the 2015 parliamentary elections. And Nile TV's Basma Taha asked different or various ages groups about their demands and the wishes from the upcoming parliament.
Parliamentary elections is the last stage of Egypt's roadmap. So ahead of the elections, we decided to ask different segments of society about their demands from the parliament.
المفروض يكون في عنده ضمير ويخاف من ربنا.
The candidates must now give voters oil and sugar to get their voices. Our president is one of a kind. President El-Sisi is really great. May God bless him.
وبعدين ده يعني بعدين احنا معانا رئيس حته سكره.
محتاج برلمان يكون عادل يحقق لنا مطالبنا.
I need a fair parliament. We need to feel safe and secure in our country. This is the first demand from the parliament.
عايز ناس يعني كويسة وتجيب حقوق الناس.
We want the candidates who can get our rights and solve our problems.
والله المفروض يكون برلمان معتدل يعني.
We don't need members from the terrorist brotherhood organization. Candidates should work for the welfare of the Egyptians. They should get the rights of the Egyptians via setting rules and regulations.
أولاً يشوف طلبات الناس التعبانة. ده أولاً.
The candidates' programs must meet the demands of the Egyptians. They are suffering because of the high prices. Candidates should present programs that develop health and education. In brief, candidates should serve citizens.
ربنا يوفقهم إن شاء الله ويعني يبقى في خير للبلد.
I wish all the best for our country. I wish a flourishing future for Egypt.
عايز يكون صالح، عايز يكون عدل.
We need candidates who care about the welfare of the Egyptians. We don't need greedy candidates.
نختار إن شاء الله برلمان يكون.
The candidates should serve people. They must not bribe voters to get their voices.
متطلبات إن هم يشوفوا احتياجات الشعب.
The candidates' programs should meet the demands of the Egyptians. The candidates should develop the country, improve education, and overcome unemployment.
قدموا بالبلد.
Well, the Egyptian National Film Festival 19th edition has kicked off in the Cairo Opera House with the honoring of icons like Layla Alwi and also Yahya Al-Fakhrani. More details in the following report by Nile TV's Hala El-Hamalawi.
The 19th edition of the Egyptian National Film Festival kicked off on the 7th of October at the Cairo Opera House under the title Aflamna Mira'atuna, or Our Films, a Reflection of Us, and runs until the 16th of October. The ceremony was attended by Minister of Culture Helmi Namnam, Head of the Culture Development Fund Muhammad Abu Saada, as well as filmmakers and artists. A film carrying this round's same name and directed by Egypt's Shadi Sroor was screened at the opening ceremony. This was followed by screenings of 5 films under the title The Suez Canal, A People's Story. These screened films included 72 Kilometer for Haytham Khalil, directed in 2015, Musafir للشمال Musafir للجنوب, or Traveling North, Traveling South, 1973 by Samir Auf, and Shafiq Mitwalli by Ali Badr Khan, 1978. The festival honored 5 Egyptians who have left a mark on the cinema industry: actor Yahya Al-Fakhrani, actress Layla Alwi, screenwriter Mustafa Muharram, cinematographer Isam Farid, and set designer Mahmoud Mohsen. Meanwhile, the head of the festival, director Samir Saif, stated that the Egyptian cinema lost many of its icons in 2015. He added that this year's edition will organize an array of lectures about some of the late Egyptian icons, including Fatin Hamama, Omar al-Sharif, Nabiha Lutfi, Ra'fat al-Mihi, and Nouri al-Sharif. Namnam also opened an exhibition titled Fitewa u Shabab, or Springtime and Youth, organized by the festival and celebrating Egyptian director Salah Abu Saif's 100th birthday. The exhibition is currently running at El Hanagir Theatre and is under the supervision of film critic Safa El-Lesi. Egyptian writer Yusuf El-Qaid heads this edition's jury on feature films, and film director Ahmed Fouad Darwish heads the jury on shorts, documentaries, and animation films. The festival screenings will be held at the Cairo Opera House Small Hall, El Hanager Theater, in addition to Alexandria's Freedom Center for Creativity.
And now we'll have a look at the Tourism magazine, which brings us interesting news related to tourists and attractive destinations in Egypt, with Nile TV's Amir Mutwal.
The Egyptian Antiquities Ministry has granted preliminary approval for the use of non-invasive radar to prove the theory that Queen Nefertiti may be hidden behind King Tutankhamun's 3,300-year-old tomb in the famous Valley of the Kings. Mushira Musa, media consultant to Antiquities Minister Mamdouh al-Damati, said that security clearance for the radar's use will be probably obtained within a month, allowing the scans to go ahead. Musa assured that it was not going to cause any damage to the monument. Egyptologist Nicholas Reeves recently published his theory, but it has yet to be peer-reviewed. He believes that Tutankhamun, who died at the age of 19, may have been rushed into an outer chamber of what was originally the tomb of Nefertiti, which has never been found. British archaeologist Howard Carter discovered Tut's Valley of the Kings in 1922, packed with antiquities including Tut's world-famous golden mask. In his paper, Reeves claims high-resolution images of King Tut's tomb, including lines underneath plastered surface of painted walls, showing there could be two unexplored doorways, one of which could potentially lead to Nefertiti's tomb. He also argues that the design of King Tut's tomb suggests it was built for a queen rather than a king. Musa said that the Japanese radar, which will be operated by an expert who will accompany the equipment from Japan for the inspection once the final approval is granted, will look beyond the walls that Reeves says may be leading into the suspected tomb and the other chamber. Musa added that Reeves, who has been in contact with the minister, arrives in Cairo Saturday, and he and al-Damati to Luxor to inspect the tomb. During the 24th Heliopolis International Water Polo Swimming Tournament held at the Heliopolis Sporting Club from the 16th to 20th September, the Heliopolis Club organized a cultural tour for international water polo swimming teams which participated in this tournament. The sporting club aims to promote cultural tourism in Egypt in this way. The international water polo clubs, including the Hungarian clubs, participated in the tournament as well as German participants. As for the synchronized swimming, the international clubs were the of Petersburg. Also, swimming players from Greece participated. The two-day tour included visits to the Giza Pyramids, the Egyptian Museum, the Saladin Citadel of Cairo, the Coptic complex located in Mari Girgis. The sports players were so delighted by the tour as the Russian swimmers requested to visit the Egyptian Museum once more. Sabri Said, Public Relations and Members Affairs Officer at the club, said that the country has a third of the world's monuments should not be facing this tourism decline. In previous statements, the Hungarian ambassador to Egypt, Peter Kvesk, pointed out that the Hungarian tourism to Egypt is mainly a coastal one. He expressed his hope to increase the Hungarian cultural tourism in Egypt.
Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program Inside Egypt, during which we've brought you the latest political, economic and also social events that are taking place in Egypt. I'm Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.